Hey, this is Amway from Difference in Skill, and this is episode 17. Wait, this is 17. Never mind, it's episode 18, I think. Yeah, this is episode 18 of Cards for Thoughts. Yeah, I kind of get mixed up sometimes because I kind of do these all at once. Anyway, so we are back on the wiki page, and today I am doing Hellfire Seal Dragon Blockade Inferno. That's pretty badass, actually. Anyway, I'm doing this because there's a recent release for set 11 is recently released in English, or I think the sneak preview happened because I was at the card shop today and I saw people opening packs of these, so I assume it's out. Or if it's only the sneak peek, then the shop owner is just selling it early, and stuff happened. Alright, so this is a cross-ride version of Blockade, if you guys didn't know. He doesn't really look like the original Blockade, I guess, but anyway, let's go on with the effect. So this is a Limit Break 4 ability. Counterblast 2 cards of Seal Dragon in its card name. Retire all of your opponent's grade 2 rear guards, and this unit gains power plus 10,000 until the end of turn. And of course the second effect is just, he's the cross-ride version, and he is Lord just like every other card. So what do I think about this card? I like this card, and I also know that this card is very underplayed, and I can kind of understand reasons why, because the card itself is not exactly too great in, by all means. So let's go over some of some things. So first of all, so it retires only grade 2s. Now, it's kind of problematic in the sense because if your opponent has a grade 3 on the field, then you're not exactly it's not exactly too beneficial anymore, because I mean, the counterblast 2 to retire 1 card if they have one on the field, have a grade 2 on the field, it basically kind of becomes like Berserk Dragon, right? And your options kind of lower because you can only kill grade 2s. Now, of course, for people that do know, is that this specific archetype is focused on turning your opponent's grade 1s into grade 2s. And of course, if you play Blockade, then people can intercept, which means your opponent would be stuck with all these grade 2s on the field. So of course, when you use this card, and if everything goes planned smoothly, it's smooth cruise all day, then you basically have your opponent, you can basically -5 on your opponent technically. Now of course that's pretty good. -5 is always good, right? I think it's kind of not it's not the ability's not really overpowered or anything. I mean, the first part is to turn your opponent's grade 1s into grade 2s. You kind of have to expend costs already. And this effect itself costs 2 costs. So basically, it's very combo-y. It needs to synergize with a lot of other cards, but at the same time, the deck doesn't exactly provide enough cost to do all this. So basically, you kind of activate this effect basically once per game, or what seems to me it's like a one thing per game thing, unless you heal a lot or something. That's why it's not exactly overwhelming. The 10,000 is a nice addition. I mean, it's also at the same time not so overwhelming. I think it's necessary there because a lot of new cards effects just kind of give you random power for no reason anymore. Yeah, a lot of things kind of just give you power for no good reason, so it's just kind of fitting in with the format. Now, of course, if you use this ability by itself, it's not exactly too bad. If you didn't manage to use the other Seal Dragon's effect to basically turn grade 1s into grade 2, and if your opponent has 2 grade 2s on the field, this card is not exactly too bad because you basically become a Vermilion for 2 costs, right? And you also gain power at the same time. So it's not too shabby. And if you do that twice per game, saying you retire 4 units because your opponent for some reason is very generous and does not have grade 3, so he has to play grade 2s. And he doesn't have grade 1 beat sticks. So kind of forcible. They just kind of have to do it, so you just naturally retire them. It's not so bad as an effect by itself. Of course, I think the main issue with this card is it's the costing. Honestly, by itself, if you look at it, it's really fair. It's just that the rest of the deck, something to make this card really good, something has to be costless. But at the same time, it's not really fair if it's costless, right? It's they could try to do something like with what Narukami did. Is basically you soul charge one of your own cards and you -1 yourself to basically -1 on your opponent, right? That's one way, but that's not exactly fair in my idea. Like, it's not exactly the fairest thing in my brain as well. And yeah, that's basically that. Like, this is very underplayed. I think it's a unique card. It deserves to be mentioned. I think I would play it if I could, or if I ever come across like building this deck again, because I sold my Kagero a long time ago. I would kind of try this. Of course, one of the reasons why it might be underplayed is that it doesn't synergize well with basically Dauntless Drive Dragon, and a lot of people are really hype on DN and Dauntless, right? So this card kind of just got forgotten back. Like, it's really weird. Sometimes I see it on national top in Japan. Like, there's like one person playing this. It's not really bad. Like, running the Blockade cross ride, like running the first Blockade is, it's not exactly a bad idea, not exactly a good idea either. But Kagero is one of those clans that don't kind of have all the good vanguards in the world, right? Like, all the vanguards are kind of mediocre in my opinion. Like, the end is pretty good, but in this current format, just not so good anymore, right? It's very mediocre. Like, I think the new grade 3 from like the magazine will be actually one of the main grade 3s for Kagero. Like, that card's really good, and I'll basically talk about it another day. So this is episode 18, and I am checking out.